You're listening to The Raw Reaction on the Angry Marks Podcast Network.
Oh yeah, baby! It's Angry Tensai and Big Dick, Angry Parks, and VOC Nation. What's up, Big Dick?
What up? What up? How you doing today, brother?
Dude, what do you think of that energy out of your boy Angry Tensai?
Dude, I like what I see from AT.
I'm just an Angry Tensai kind of guy, man. I'm just here, I'm just excited to be part of the family here at Angry Parks and VOC and WrestleWork.com. I'm pumped up, baby.
Dude, WrestleWork.com. Let's not forget those, men.
That is a community of communities, baby. What's going on with you tonight, bud?
Dude, watched Raw. Somewhat intrigued. I liked it. I don't know. We haven't really had a chance to talk before the show, so it'll be interesting to see your thoughts on it. But I was actually somewhat pleasantly surprised with Raw tonight.
I actually didn't like Raw tonight, and I'm a guy who always likes Raw.
Wow. It'll be
go
ahead.
And here's why. And I can't believe I'm saying this because I'm a big faction guy, but I like factions that have meaning. Like, I'll give you an idea. Like, during the Attitude Era, which is well documented as my favorite time in wrestling, there was a lot of stables, but they all were good stables and they all made sense. Like, even from the Jobber stable to like Los Boricuas, the biker gang one, I think that was the Disciples Apocalypse. You had the Oddities, which were the Freaks. It was kind of like a prison, you know? You had the Nation of Domination, which, you know, they were separatists. You had the D-Generation X, which was like, you know, all the foolery Irishmen. You have the Hart Foundation, which were the Canadians. It all made sense. Now you have a bunch of random factions, in my opinion, thrown together, and it leads to lazy booking. And it started tonight when the show started, and the League of Nations comes out, and I'm okay with these guys. These guys make sense being together. So they come out, and they're like, no one can stop us. We're the best faction of all time. Blah, 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 blah. And then something very, very cool happens. They're confronted by the Wyatts, which I never saw coming. I was really surprised by that. And I was like, all right, this is really cool. So we're going to have heel on heel crime. And the Wyatts said, you know what? You guys are only here because, you know, we're letting you breathe here. If we wanted to, we'd take you out as you stand. And as they're about to rumble, which would have been awesome. And I got to say, the League of Nations didn't look scared. And, well, maybe not 3 of the 4 League of Nations. Sheamus kind of stepped back and told Del Rio something, and Del Rio did not look scared at all of the Wyatts. And I'm like, this is awesome. This is going to be awesome. And then they ruin it. And the friggin' Dudleys come out with Dreamer, and they say, well, we have another man, or, you know, we're going to kick your ass, blah, blah, blah. And then the Wyatts say, well, you'll never win because you're outgunned. You don't have enough people. And then Dudley say, well, we're ECW alumni, and we don't die, we multiply. My God. Oh, no. Rhino comes out. And the crowd's excited about Rhino. Oh, it doesn't stop there. And then this makeshift family faction, which rivals Team ECW in randomness. You have, oh, by the way, they're called Team ECW now. Then you have Reigns, Ambrose, and Usos. Without little explanation, we're going to have an 8-on-8 tag where one man,
Well, a 4-on-4-on-4-on-4.
but it wasn't. It was an 8-on-8.
No, it wasn't. It was a 4-on-4.
It was an 8-on-8.
Kev, Killer Kev.
It
Please help
was.
me out here.
It was an 8-on-8.
No idea. I didn't watch it.
It was an 8-on-8. It absolutely was an 8-on-8. And if I'm confused, that tells me that my point is made. And the heels were one team. Whatever happened. Maybe it was a fatal 4-way. I don't remember it being that way. Regardless, one man gets eliminated. Your team gets eliminated. And in the end, yeah, but the faces never fought the faces and the heels never fought the heels at any point in this match. Big Dick.
Yeah, well, I think that there were the occasional instances. I don't think they did a good job of sort of throwing something in there, even to build something up for the next couple pay-per-views, like something that wouldn't necessarily be a match this pay-per-view, but something that could start heat.
This was Raw. This whole cluster was Raw. It was horrible. They threw this week away with that. That was a 40-minute segment. And who won? I don't even remember who won. Did the Dudleys win? No, Ambrose's team won. Ambrose's
team won.
My God is all I have to say, buddy. My God. You know
what? I liked it. I liked the idea of it. I did not like the execution of it. Having all those teams out there, number one, it was a good way to build up some of the matches, but I felt like they should have if you allowed me to book this match, I probably would have had it come down to the family versus the League of Nations, which it did. However, if I were booking this, I would have had New Day come out and cause interference to promote. Aren't they wrestling the Usos at the next pay-per-view?
Yes, but Kalisto and friends.
Wait, no, you know what? They aren't wrestling them, I don't think.
No, but it's a fair.
They are wrestling them.
A triangle match.
Yeah, it's them and the Kalipos. Yeah, it's those guys. It's those three in a three-way match. But yeah, I think that would have done the trick for me if that was the New Day came out, caused the interference, and allowed them to win, and allowed one of the users to get pinned in the match. I also would have liked to have seen the Dudleys and the Wyatts rather than the Wyatts got knocked out in about 5 minutes. I would have rather seen the Wyatts get knocked out and then basically have them just go and just assault the Dudleys and their team of 4 and just sort of break down into chaos and cause them to get counted out or just go backstage and just end up out of the match. So those were my thoughts there. I don't know, maybe have Kevin Owens get involved somehow at the end with Ambrose. I felt like it should have done a better job of playing up the matches where wrestlers weren't involved there. Typically, for the most part, with New Day and Kevin Owens, and maybe even put together a match. Like I don't think we have matches, or I don't think we have a match for Bad News Barrett right now.
Well, he's just thrown in. That's why it's lazy booking. He's thrown into this faction. You don't.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind him in the faction. I think the faction, the League of Nations, I think the sum is greater than the parts, which is a good thing.
I do too, which is why I said that they're the one faction that makes sense. But it's very easy to book now.
Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, I would have liked to have seen more matches directly related to the to the pay-per-view, or at least to lead into the pay-per-view, because we pretty much know what was going to be booked there. The other thing I didn't like, and this, I'm going to sort of skip all over the place, was
what?
The time is 11:40 p.m. It was the Dolph Ziggler and Kevin Owens match, because I think they originally said this is the rematch from him losing his title, yes, or something like that, and then all of a sudden it's, if he gets this win against the champion, then we have a new, then he's going to be a contender. However, we had Prince Pretty sitting on the outside, who, unless I missed something, did not interfere in the match, which was a little surprising.
He didn't do anything.
And Ambrose, I mean, he was sitting backstage and he got involved after the match, but he didn't come out at any point during the match. And the thing, I mean, I don't even get why Tyler Breeze was out there. I mean, it wasn't something that happened during the match. It wasn't something that happened after the match. It was nothing really before the match. I think he looked at him and made a sad face at some point. But
You know what I would have done?
What's that?
You know what I would have done?
What's that?
I would have had Hacksaw Butch Reed and Ron Simmons Doom come out and kick the crap out of everybody out there. I want some real talents. Bring out some of the old NWA, WCW talent. I've had it. What would you have said, Kev, if Ron Simmons and Butch Reed came out and started cleaning house?
Get them old fuckers off my TV.
Oh, man.
Wow.
Even those two? Even those two guys?
Even those two
what
guys.
about DX?
Get them old fuckers off my TV.
No, but Simmons and Reed?
Yep.
They
Isn't
were
Reed
dead,
dead?
too. Reed's not dead. What are you talking about?
I thought Butch Reed died a couple years ago.
Butch Reed is not dead. I'm Googling this right now because you're scaring me right now. Butch Reed cannot be dead. He can't be dead. Butch Reed's not dead. There's no way.
He's alive in our minds.
Please tell me that's not true. I'm going to find out.
All right. Well, let's pause the show and check on the health of.
Yeah, he's important. He's not. Apparently, he might be in jail though. But he's not dead. He's absolutely alive.
Oh, okay, that's good. Well, in that case, get them old fuckers off my TV.
Yeah, former WCW star Butch Reed is in jail for a probation violation.
Should we bail him out?
Actually, he is out now. He's out, but he was not out at the time the article was written. So he's out now, but he violated his probation.
I mean, absolutely one of my most favorite tag teams of all time. They're too old to be on my TV right now.
How can you say something like that?
Because it's true. We have too many younger, more talented people
Whoa,
waiting for spots on the roster.
Whoa.
We have the Usos. Give it a break. Give it a rest, please.
More talented than Doom?
Yep,
You don't mean that.
I mean it.
Dude, Butch Reed, well, hold on a second. Stop. Reed and Simmons are one of the best tag teams in the history of this business, let alone the Usos. Are you serious?
They ain't now.
They could roll out of bed and go do it right now. Right now.
On how many painkillers?
It would be entertaining.
Who cares?
This is just sad when somebody like Farouk is being disrespected this way.
Stop being disrespected. His time is past. He is not a viable wrestler in 2015.
Why?
Hey, DX was tag team champions last year.
How can you say about Farouk?
Okay, DX is actually in shape. Farouk is not. Ron Simmons is not. Butch Reed hasn't been in shape in years unless you count round mound of pie as a shape.
I don't think Butch Reed's fat. There's no way. Hacksaw Butch Reed, man?
Over the hill.
Oh man, I hate what I'm hearing here. I hate what I'm hearing here.
It's just true.
Well,
I we need to kick Kelly Kev off the show. This isn't right. He's making me sad today.
no, I can't believe what he's saying about Hacksaw Butch Reed, this legend who played for the Chiefs. This legend. And let me tell you something. If Farouk and Butch Reed kept tabs on Nancy Benoit when that was their manager, she'd still be alive today. Because let me tell you, Benoit wouldn't have been able to do anything to her.
Not that he did because he was framed, but
He was. That is true, though. He was framed. I think we all know that.
Yeah, I mean that goes without saying. Any listeners of ours are well aware that Chris Benoit, obviously the victim of elaborately framed hoax.
We all know that, though. We know. We all know that.
Yes.
Listen. We'll say it. We'll say it is what it is, but I just can't believe what I'm hearing. Well, I'll leave it there. The team of doom. Anyway, let's digress. So that Ziggler match, they did say that Ziggler would be the number one contender if he won.
I thought it was a title match or a rematch, and then they sneak in there something about if he wins, he's gonna have an argument for the title shot. And basically they played up Ambrose getting the match at the pay-per-view because they had showed him backstage eating popcorn.
how the mighty have fallen because, what's interesting about all that is, Owens wins clean, right? I mean, he beat Ziggler. It was a good match. I said it is what it is, but I mean, Ziggler lost clean, right? I mean, that happened.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, I'm not a big fan. The one move I do not like that Ziggler does is it's sort of the run at your opponent's right shoulder, jump up in the air like you're trying to jump over him, just kicking and screaming, yelling, ah! Because most of the time it results in him getting slammed or him getting his ass kicked or him falling into some sort of a move. It doesn't work out too well. It actually pummels him. But he did it like 3 or 4 times, and I'm like, please stop doing that. That's not a great move, running at somebody and jumping on their shoulder, hoping to just randomly pummel them.
No, it's not. Well, I was really surprised in general, though, that Owens just kind of ran through Ziggler the way he did, and then it was kind of stupid because he basically got his ass beat by Ambrose. Well, not really. Kind of embarrassed more so. You know what I mean? The way.
Yeah, I like this because it's not necessarily giving away anything, and it's something that would what's his name is Owens is sort of like a FU to authority and sort of FU to tradition, and then Ambrose comes down there and just completely just disrespects him in almost in a silly way. And that has to be like almost like outclassing him as far as doing something to piss him off.
What was funny about it, though, is to your point about Brie, is Ambrose kind of did the same thing, right? I mean, Ambrose came down with the popcorn and the soda, and Owens, he offered popcorn to Owens, and Owens was like really rude to him, and I think that's why essentially that's why he threw it at him, right? So it was kind of fun. The whole thing.
Pretty much. I think, and I liked it how Owen sort of like he has like an attitude of I don't care and screw it, but he was like really pissy. He's like, no, you play my music when I win. You don't play his. Right. And like I thought that was pretty cool. Like he played that up pretty well as sort of like something that got under his skin that really shouldn't have.
Yeah, I don't know. I think they're gonna have a really, really good match when it finally happens. I'm excited about that match. I think it'll be really entertaining. So
it's gonna be a pay-per-view.
Yeah, so I mean it's gonna be Ambrose and Owens, and I think it's gonna be a fun match, don't you?
Yeah, I mean I like it because it's not a match where even tonight, like outside of maybe like some tag matches where the two have like sort of faced off momentarily. I like that we haven't really. This is like the first time we've actually seen them get in a ring together.
Yeah. Well, I think, this has been going on for a while without a feud, right? I mean, I feel like this has been going on for a while. They just never.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I feel like it's sort of. I feel like it's sort of been building, but it might just be. It hasn't been just building between them. I mean, they've sort of been on opposite sides. Now, I guess my question is, though, and I know the answer to this, and I hate, and I'll answer my own question, but where does Dolph Ziggler go from here? I'm thinking the pre-show versus Tyler Breeze, unfortunately.
I don't know how this really happened, because he's kind of like, he's turned into like a jobber, don't you think?
Yeah, he's definitely trading wins and losses. So, I mean, I don't know if he's, has he fucked somebody Cena's been talking? I don't know.
I don't think he's been. I think he's been having a lot of problems, man. I mean, I don't know how other way to say it. I mean, I think it has not been going well for him. But I wouldn't even dare ask Killer Kev what he thinks, because he thinks Ron Simmons and Butch Reed suck. So I mean, why would I ask him?
Let's get his opinion. Let's give Kev a chance to redeem himself here. Come on, Kev.
What am I redeeming?
Dolph Ziggler. Why is he getting buried?
Oh, who the fuck knows these days?
I mean, he's giving Tyler Breeze the Chris Jericho treatment.
No idea.
So I gotta ask you, Vic. I like Tyler Breeze. I think he's a super talented guy. He doesn't seem to be really getting a fair shake, in my opinion. Where do you think he'll wind up?
I think he's gonna wind up on the Rose Bush and fighting with like Neville and maybe Cody Rhodes. It's gonna be sort of like a lower mid card. I don't really see him. I don't see him anywhere close to like Dolph Ziggler in level. I mean, maybe at some point he can get over, but this angle is freaking stupid. Like, it might have worked for him at NXT. It'd been cool, but I mean, you know what? Have it where the selfie stick is a weapon, and he uses it as his weapon. That would be cool.
Yeah, he could. That could still happen, but I hear you what you're saying. You know, I don't feel like he's going anywhere.
But think about it. Put him and Ziggler in a match and call it selfie stick on a pole match, and then whoever gets it can use it as a weapon. Like, that would be an awesome match to have it to pay per view. And I mean, obviously, it's not that hard. I mean, they've had confrontations before, and I mean, every time he comes out to the ring, there could be some sort of build up where eventually it becomes selfie stick on a pole, and he climbs a ladder for it. Unfortunately, the TLC pay per view is less than a week away, and Vince McMahon has not come up with the idea that I just suggested. So hopefully he's listening tonight, which we know he usually does on a regular basis, and hopefully he can redeem himself, maybe even book it on the pre-show.
I think the Judy Bagwell on a pole match would be the way to go. Judy
Bagwell on my pole or a pole?
Either. I like either, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I actually wouldn't. I'm interested in hiring. I think it's well known that I'm an Atlanta, Georgia native, which I hail very close to the location where Buff Bagwell is currently serving as a gigolo.
You should hire him.
I have to wonder if I were to try to hire him out on an hourly rate, what the additional rate would be to have Judy Bagwell there as well.
Would you hire Buff?
I'm thinking about inviting him to my birthday party and just paying him to show up.
No, I'm saying, would you hire him for yourself? Maybe spend a little time with him.
To come to my birthday party and be a gigolo.
So would you, like, spend some time alone with him?
I mean, I feel like I'd get some better stories with him if we're chatting alone, one-on-one, versus, like, if he's, like, entertaining the entire party.
You think Buff's, like, a cool guy? You think he would, like, make sure you had fun?
No, I've heard he's an asshole.
So you don't think it would be fun?
No, I don't think it'd be fun. He'd probably just beat the piss out of me.
I'd love to see you and Buff together. In the Buff.
I was going to share, I could wear my Buff Bagwell wrestling attire for when he arrives.
The big hat?
Oh, yeah. Nothing with the big hat.
Remember that big hat he used to wear?
Dude, the big hat was freaking pimping, man. He was like it almost felt like he was like, what is it? Who the heck were the guys who wore the big clock? I almost felt like Digital Underground, the Humpty Dance. I almost thought like he was down with that big hat. That big hat was pretty pimping.
Buff Daddy.
Big
Buff was the stuff.
Buff. Buff was the stuff.
Well, you know, that was that. So what else did we have tonight? The Wyatts had like that I guess like the main event match spot. That was a horrible match. Braun Strowman versus Tommy Dreamer. Oh my God, was that pitiful.
You know what? I did not see what happened there. Did Tommy Dreamer get crushed?
He got crushed. He lost that bear hug the minute he was put in it. They just stopped the match.
Well, you know what? I think they had to do that though to trade a win. I mean, he said he was going to do it. He did it. So now he's the unstoppable beast that we're just not seeing. The crowd's just not buying. But taking somebody who's well past their prime and doing it to him and putting him over as a loss is a good lead up to the pay-per-view where the Dudleys win, I think.
They honestly, you know what they should do here with Braun Strowman? They should have had the Faces of Fear, Barbarian and Ming come out and just destroyed everybody in sight, WCW style. That would have been awesome. Kev, would you have wanted to see Barbarian and Ming?
Get them old fuckers off of my TV.
You're not gonna badmouth Ming.
No, I'm not gonna badmouth Ming to get him off my TV.
You don't like Ming?
Wow.
Too old. I'm telling you. Get him off TV.
He's fucking
Wow.
Ming. You wouldn't want to see Ming.
When I could see Neville? No. When I could see Sami Zayn? No. I don't want to see them dudes. Give me the new stuff.
Neville didn't even wrestle tonight. Apparently Neville's, and again, this could be a pre-show qualifier, but Neville is being courted by The Miz. I'm not sure exactly where this goes, but I feel like it's a big topic on WWE Superstars, possibly.
If it was,
or maybe it can be covered on the Rose Bush, which is apparently the new gossip show where Adam Rose attempts to stay relevant.
I would have Ming.
Keyword there, attempt.
I would have Ming come out and put a tongue and death grip on Neville and Adam Rose, and I think the fans.
One hand each.
What's that?
That would be. I would probably be full chub if that happened.
Who would?
I said I'd probably be full chub if Ming came out and did that.
People would love it. The fans would love it.
Yeah, good point. I mean, that would be. Yeah, it's like, hey, we didn't see that coming. Even if that was the only thing he did, and he just disappeared off the face of the show and came back again for his WWE Hall of Fame introduction.
We need more power.
That would be quite the lead in, I think.
You know what we need? I know what Kevin.
We need some legends to save us. I mean, I feel like.
What if Sweet Stan Lane and Beautiful Bobby Eaton, the Midnight Express came out? Would you want to see that, Killer Kev?
No.
Why?
I could go watch them in their prime on WWE Network.
We've lost Kev's feed.
We have? We did?
Do you don't have WWE Network, Angry Tensai?
I do. Why? Are you going to tell me that's where I could go see these guys?
It's only $9.99 per month.
I know.
Do you know how much you save? You could.
How much would I save? Would I save money?
You would save if you were to order a pay-per-view like an idiot. You would be paying $55.99. Now, if you just paid $99 or $9.99, and you get all.
We're having technical difficulties.
Penises.
Penises. I heard that. We're back.
I heard Kev say penises.
We're back, guys.
All right, good stuff.
Where were we?
So I don't know. I feel like leading up to this pay-per-view, it would have been a good time to start sprinkling in some NXT talent. And I'm not saying Rhino because he's not NXT.
I agree.
I mean, I feel like we're gonna get a couple wrestlers coming up after this pay-per-view, just to sort of round out some new superstars in the Royal Rumble. But I feel like I don't know. I wouldn't mind seeing like a match or two. I mean, I don't need to see Dolph Ziggler versus Tyler Breeze. I'd rather see Dolph Ziggler versus Finn Balor, or Finn Balor versus somebody. I don't know. I mean, I'd rather see or Baron Corbin join. I would have loved to see like Baron Corbin because he's a big guy. He's like 6'5", 6'6". I'd rather see him join the Double E's than Rhino and Dreamer. Or maybe even if they wanted to save it, have Dreamer get injured and have the Dudleys down a man and have him bring in Baron Corbin to wrestle with him.
I feel the same way you do, buddy.
Just as a complete unknown at the pay-per-view. That could be huge because that's like then he could come in as the guy who took out the new face of fear, Braun Strowman, who is not over and can't wrestle for a.
What did you just call them? They're the what?
What's that?
You referred to the Wyatt families as a name.
I just like Corbin.
No, but you called them a name.
Oh, the new face of fear.
If they were Faces of Fear, that name's taken. Do you know who had that as a tag team? Who were the Faces of Fear? Who were the Faces of Fear? Meng and Barbarian were the Faces of Fear.
Shit. I feel like it's WCW.
So they're being ripped off again.
Wow. Yeah.
What? I don't like how
that would be cool if they came out and said Dudley.
I don't like how our Kevin has no respect for any of the legends, and I don't understand that. And on top of that,
Yeah.
I'm okay with what I'm gonna ask him because I know where he's gonna go with it, and we might as well let him. Kev, what do you make of WWE promoting Team ECW and putting together the Dudley Boys, Rhino, and Tommy Dreamer? Go ahead, Kev. Tell us. I have to hear this. Well, I guess Kev, we lost him, but what do you think of the Team ECW thing? Vic?
I think ultimately
Yo,
it's going to
dude.
be used to put over. I'm here. I
I mean,
think it's going to be used ultimately to put over the Wyatt family.
Well, I mean, of course, but I mean, we've only seen the ECW thing played out 68 times.
Yeah, but you know what? I mean, it could be shit. It's just a filler. I don't think that I think maybe we see Rhino in the Royal Rumble, and I think that we don't see Tommy Dreamer ever again. Maybe is he going to get elected to the Hall of Fame at some point? He might. This could be the lead up to his run up for the Hall of Fame. I mean, they start announcing people in January, right?
He might. I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to that. He might. What do you see as far as
Yeah, I mean, I think that could be his lead up. They could have said, hey, you know what, Tommy Dreamer's going to be in there. We'll run.
who do you think will
What's
win
that?
the Rumble this year? Who do you think will win the Royal Rumble?
Oh,
Vic?
God.
Yo, what's up?
I don't know. I don't know who's going to win the Rumble. I read an interesting article about Daniel Bryan where they're talking about how he's possibly healthy enough to be returning, but they don't want to bring him back until after WrestleMania because he screwed up the last two WrestleManias when he were over.
Really?
Yeah,
That's
and they're like, you know what? If we brought him in, and I mean, you know, but that's not a terrible thing. I mean, it's actually great to be so over with the crowd that they're pushing him back because
Right.
of his impact on other storylines. But I mean, it makes sense because if you bring him back anytime before then, he's going to be everybody's going to be going apeshit for him to join to join the main event match.
Right.
So I think it actually made a lot of sense. The article I was reading. You can't just storm the match against like Rich Wortman or Tyler Breeze or
Right.
Dolph Ziggler or Biggie Langston. I mean, you need to actually do this. I'll tell you one of my favorite spots on the show, and I'm not as negative on the show as you were, but my favorite spot by far. Oh my God, the New Day. They're in rarefied air.
They are awesome.
I love their little spot this week.
What do you think about their?
They literally had in their match. I forget who, or the tag team match. Probably some of them. I forget who was in it. It was like Calypso and the other guy versus
Calypso.
two members.
Yes, it was Calypso.
But he literally Calypso. But he's on the ground outside the ring, and he's like pointing at him and like sort of like just laying on the ground, playing the trumpet for the New Day Rocks thing.
What about Calypso?
And I mean, it was just freaking hilarious. He's gonna be in a title match. How does it make you feel?
It's good. I feel okay about it. I want to see more. I want to see more Calypso on my TV. To be honest with you, let me ask you this, Killer Kev.
Wow, that's a bold statement.
Kev, when you hear there is a Team ECW running around, how does that make you feel?
I liked it with the Brie Bella comments.
Well, what you know, I actually Kev, I gotta, or not Kev, Vic, I gotta bring up the Diva segment. I guess which one should we start with first? This is pretty much the only thing we didn't cover, was Team Bad and their big win over the Bellas, and Sasha Banks and friends continue to roll, and then they had an altercation with the New Day where they actually showed love to the New Day. So it's pretty funny overall, but it looks like the Team Bad is becoming faces. If I didn't know any better, it sure appears that way.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like the WWE. I feel like everyone in the women's division, there's no real faces and no real heels at the moment. I feel like we're going through a big transition there.
What about Calypso?
I think he's a face.
You know his name's not Calypso, right?
What's his name?
Callisto. Do you want to try and say it? Callisto. Go ahead.
Calypso?
Calypso.
Calypso?
You're the man, dude. And then we had the Charlotte segment. What a mess Charlotte is, huh? She's turning heel, it appears.
Yeah.
What'd you think of all that?
And that's the thing, though. I mean, Paige is such a good heel, and now you're suddenly turning. I don't like it because Paige is a good heel, and I feel like Charlotte should be booking. I think she should be booked as a strong champion for a while, and she can plant the relationship with their dad. But I don't know. I mean, I feel like putting her in the shit they're going to put her in at the pay-per-view, I almost feel like you could have a double turn here.
You might,
sort of like you did with Ziggler and Del Rio a couple years back.
At this point, you might as well have her fight Calypso. Or Calypso.
What's that?
You might as well have her fight Calypso. You know? You know Calypso, right?
I got it. Dude, he's one of my favorite masked wrestlers.
You know, it really dawned on me in their match tonight that the Luchas are just like so average. And I'm just really not interested. And they just look like a generic tag team, to be honest. And I know that's rough to say, but they just seem like a generic tag team to me. That's my opinion. How does that sit with you?
I'm sorry, say that one more time?
The Luchas, to me, seem like a very generic tag team.
Yeah, I don't think the Lucha Dragons or even the Usos at this point are taking strap off of New Day. I mean, New Day is hilarious.
New Day rocks. And
they're actually building relevance to the tag. They do. They really do rock.
They are the best around right now, that's for sure. Let's see, what else was there? That's pretty much it. I mean, what do you want to talk about as far as pay-per-view goes?
I don't know.
Calypso?
I like, what do you have for, I think we picked, I'm going to get your picks for this pay-per-view.
Well, let's establish our matches. What do you got?
Obviously, championship TLC match. I'm going to go with Sheamus by crook somehow. But I think he keeps it at least to Royal Rumble.
I think Reigns walks out with the belt. And I say that because I think they want to give Reigns a two-time.
I'm trying to think what else I want to see here.
I just think they're going to say Reigns is a two-time champion.
Yeah, and that's sort of, I don't know, that's sort of tacky that he's a one-time champion, even though he didn't even have a chance to have a cup of coffee with the title, literally. I don't know. I like the Wyatts over the Dudleys.
Oh yeah, totally.
Hopefully you don't see Tommy during the ring again. And Rhino could go back to ECW, or not ECW. He can go back to NXT where he's needed. I like the Del Rio versus Swagger match. I feel like this could be like a 30-minute match, but it won't be, just because they're so buried on the card.
Yeah.
So maybe a solid 20-minute match.
And New Day rocks.
New Day rocks. It's still a New Day. They're not former champs. They're continuing to be champs. Don't really care about Tyler Breeze versus what's his name? Ziggler. What match is missing? Ruru, your boy Ruru.
Ruru.
I don't know.
Ryback big.
Let's give that one to Ryback. I don't really have a reason, unless they get some interference from Bad News Barrett, which I mean that could be the play. Is Bad News Barrett does any news or any role in him for you, so he could just be sort of their one-loss announcer.
I think Ruru is going to kill those guys. I think Ryback's a dead man. My opinion. And that's all it is, my opinion, Vic. That's all it is, as you know.
Yeah.
My opinion means nothing.
Now, what are your surprises?
Surprises.
That you see coming here?
I see more ECW guys, unfortunately. I think they're going to do that. And I don't want to see that, but I think they're going to do that. I'm trying to think. I think Ambrose beats Owens for the title. Intercontinental. How about that one? I see that happening.
I'm sorry, say that one more time?
I see Ambrose taking the title off off Owens.
Wow. I think that's going to be the match of pay-per-view. This is definitely going to have a couple. This is Austin fans, just because they're both innovators on offense, and I think that I could see these guys like prepping for this match really well and just working and telling a really great story.
Yes, but
that will get the crowd completely sold on it.
yeah.
I wouldn't mind seeing Ambrose take the title off Kevin Owens. I think Owens is so much of a commodity right now that he's okay without the title. And I mean, it's weird to say after somebody's been in wrestling with WWE for 6 months, but I mean, he's really built up as that much of a monster.
A monster. Do you think the Kiss
Not
Demon
a face of
show up?
fear,
What
but
about
a
the
monster.
What about the Kiss Demon? Do you remember him?
I don't know. I'm sort of hopeful. I'm hoping that Hogan makes a return. I do. It was pretty awkward.
The Kiss Demon. He's coming.
I'm hoping Harvey Wimbledon makes his return.
Who? Something
Harvey
ultimate,
Wimbledon.
something ultimate and something warrior. I think something ultimate and something warrior is on its way back.
Something Joseph, something Parks.
Something Josephson Parks.
Something
Anyway.
Joseph, something law firm.
That
We should call Enzo and start asking him for legal advice.
there you go. Well, I don't know about you, but I don't have anything else for tonight.
Yeah, that's about it. I mean, I like it. I'll give it a 5.5 to 6. I think it's as best as possible with nothing. I mean, they were like 3 matches before tonight. I feel like we have 3 books, and that's pretty much the card. I mean, they're not expecting miracles here.
Right.
So we'll see how it goes down.
Anything else you want to add, Kev? Anything going on the network? Looks like nothing's going on at all on the network.
Sorry about that. Tomorrow night on the Undisputed Wrestling Show.
Nation.
Tomorrow night on Undisputed Wrestling Show, we will have Abyss in the first hour.
Abyss. Are you excited?
It'll be an interesting show, that's for sure.
Angry Parks will be here himself. Well, I'm excited. Anything else going on?
That's all we've got so far this week, but keep listening.
All right, and you can't participate if you're not on our site and you're not listening and you're not part of the family. We need you. Be part of the family.
Yeah, I mean, and you can't find work.
You know where we are.
No, be careful. We don't want anybody rooting for the uses.
Now, Kev, would you want to see Vampiro invade and help out the faces at the pay-per-view?
No.
You have a problem with Vampiro? Why? Why do you have a problem with Vampiro? Kev, this you gotta answer. Well, I don't know. He's got nothing to say. Anyway, I want to thank everybody for joining us tonight. We're out of here. It's been real. It's been good, but it hasn't been real good. So, talk to y'all soon. Thank you for joining, and we'll see you next week. Thanks, Vic.